Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. I'm Nicodemus Kane. It is December the 20th, 2021. I'm hoping this works. My laptop is being very slow this morning. I did a test run and it sounds fine. So we'll hope that it's going, but it's just been running kind of slow today. So we'll see what's going on. I bet you my OBS needs to update, and it doesn't update because the internet doesn't kick on until 5. So we'll see. I might turn it back on later in the afternoon to let it update itself. Anyways, hopefully this is going out well, and hopefully everything's working the way it needs to work. Today I'm going to read Psalm 72. This is a psalm for Solomon. Everyone remembers that Solomon was the son of David, who took over as king. And of course, once Solomon was in there, he built the temple and he wound up turning away from God. Wound up following in all the wrong ways. I don't remember half the stories right off the top of my head right now. I woke up kind of groggy and out of it. We had a grandbaby last night. She stayed the night with us. She's going to stay the night with us for a couple days. So it's going to be an interesting couple days for us. So it is what it is. But we're going to do Psalm 72. Give the king thy judgments, O God, and thy righteousness unto the king's son. He shall judge thy people with righteousness, and thy poor with judgment. The mountains shall bring peace to the people, and the little hills by righteousness. He shall judge the poor of the people. He shall save the children of the needy, and shall break in pieces the oppressor. They shall fear thee as long as the sun and moon endure, throughout all generations. He shall come down like rain upon the mown grass, as showers that water the earth. In his days shall the righteous flourish, and abundance of peace so long as the moon endureth. He shall have dominion also from sea to sea, and from the earth unto the ends of the earth. They that dwell in the wilderness shall bow before him, and his enemies shall lick the dust. The kings of Tarshish and of the isles shall bring presents. The kings of Sheba and Seba shall offer gifts. Yea, all kings shall fall down before him, all nations shall serve him. For he shall deliver the needy when he crieth, the poor also, and him that hath no helper. He shall spare the poor and needy, and shall save the souls of the needy. He shall redeem their soul from deceit and violence, and precious shall their blood be in his sight. And he shall live, and to him shall be given of the gold of Sheba. Prayer also shall be made for him continually, and daily shall he be praised. There shall be an handful of corn in the earth upon the top of the mountains. The fruit thereof shall shake like Lebanon, and they of the city shall flourish like grass of the earth. His name shall endure forever. His name shall be continued as long as the sun, and men shall be blessed in him. All nations shall call him blessed. Blessed be the Lord God, the God of Israel, who only doeth wondrous things. And blessed be his glorious name forever. And let the whole earth be filled with his glory. Amen and amen. The prayers of David, the son of Jesse, are ended. That's actually a verse in the prayers of. I kind of think that was, like one of the little footnote deals. But it's actually in the thing. The prayers of David, the son of Jesse, are ended. So that is what it is. Okay. I stumbled through that a lot. And like I said, it's a little early, and I'm a little groggy, so we're definitely gonna have to kind of go through this one again. Give the king thy judgments, O Lord, and thy righteousness unto the king's son. Of course, like I said, that's David and Solomon. He shall judge thy people with righteousness, and thy poor with judgment. The mountains shall bring peace to the people, and the little hills by righteousness. The mountains shall bring peace to the people. He shall judge the poor of the people. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to figure that out. The mountains shall bring peace to the people. In the little hills by righteousness. Huh. Okay. Have to think about that one for a second. I know it's there's an illusion going on there, not illusion going on there. We'll keep going. He shall judge the poor of the people. He shall save the children of the needy, and shall break in pieces the oppressor. They shall fear thee as long as the sun and moon endure, throughout all generations. He shall come down like rain upon the mown grass, as showers that water the earth. Now, that one caught me for a second. We're definitely going to have to look that one up. Let's get in here. Psalm 72. I need Strong's Concordance so I can see exactly what's going on there. I could pull out my Strong's Concordance. We actually found one in a. I'm looking the wrong way. I put all my religious stuff, not religious. My Bible texts. Wow. My Bible text over on the other shelf. I thought I had them over here to my left, but I have them over on my right. But we found one in a Goodwill, kind of old one from I think it was early 1970s. Pretty nice. But when we took it to the register, of course, Goodwill does not charge for Bibles. If you buy a Bible from Goodwill, then you paid way too much for it, period, because they give Bibles out for free at Goodwill. And she asked me what it was. She said, "Is this a Bible?" And I said, "Well, it's a Bible reference guide." She said, "Okay, free." I'm like, dude, it's like I wasn't expecting that to be free. I was going to pay for that. I have no problem paying for Bible reference books, but you know, I said, "That's cool, thank you." Okay, he shall come down like rain upon the mown grass. As mowing, shearing, mowing. I'm going to say that when they, because they need hay to feed sheep, they don't just leave them out in the fields all the time. They have to have something whenever it gets to be winter. So I would think that yes, we would be able to have mown grass back in the day. It just kind of caught me, It's like you see the word mown, MOWN, and the first thing you think of is lawnmowers. And it's just kind of like, oh, okay, but no. Then again, that could go back to the whole thing of, maybe they did have that kind of technology back then, because the Bible doesn't really specify certain things. And we know that they had some kind of advanced technology. Back before this time too, pre-flood maybe, maybe even post-flood. We don't know, just because the history we have from the scientists and leaders of this world, air quotes, um, they lie. They have no reason to tell you the truth. The more that they keep you in deception, the more they get to rule over you. Again, that's one of those hard pills for a lot of people to swallow, but that's the truth. Is the more that people keep something from you, the more opportunity they have to gain from you. In his days shall the righteous flourish, and abundance of peace so long as the moon endureth. He shall have dominion also from sea to sea, and from the river unto the ends of the earth. They that dwell in a wilderness shall bow before him, and his enemies shall lick the dust. The kings of Tarshish and the isles and of the isles shall bring presents. The kings of Sheba and Seba, shall offer gifts. Kings of Tarshish and of the isles shall bring presents. Now, of the isles, is this before the water came back up, or is this after the water came back up? Is this talking about England? Or is this talking about a place in the world where there are a ton of islands? I've already kind of gone into the whole thing where, where they talk about Israel and Egypt and all of these other places where they say they are in the world may not necessarily be exactly where they are. Because there's a lot of interesting things whenever you start talking about the whole America's Egypt thing, and you start talking about the Isles of Tarshish, and you start thinking about the all of the islands that are south of Japan. Maybe even the isles in the Caribbean. There's a lot of islands out there. There really is. It's something to contemplate, because you talk about the islands like, Northern Europe. There's a good amount, a fair amount, but there's, it's like two or three big ones. It's like, there's a couple islands, okay, fine. You talk about like in the Pacific Ocean, you're talking about hundreds of islands. I don't know. I still say that back in the days of the Old Testament, even though they say, oh, they were isolated to just one part of the world, it was only just the Middle East. This is what they say, that they were only stuck in the Middle East and they never really got out. And everything in the Bible talks about just that specifically, and nobody ever, even though the entire world was going on, the Bible never talks about anything else that was going on in the world. I still say that, they still had people. There were still people that were getting around. Whether it was before or after the waters came back up and flooded everything that was kind of out there. As I've talked about, pre-flood, there was a lot more land, a ton of land. Post-flood, it seems like when the waters came back down, there was still a pretty good exposure of stuff, but then the water levels came back up to a point to where they are now. Because if you drain even just 300 feet of water, you start finding just tons and tons of stuff. Is that pre-flood? Pre-Noah's flood? Or is that post-Noah's flood? We don't know. That's one of those things. It's like, the world is covered with like, what, 50%, or not 50%, 70% water, and we are too busy worried about what's out in outer space. If, It's like, but what's all this stuff? Why are there pyramids, just off the coast of Japan? Why is there a land bridge that connects the entirety of Europe to Britain and then to Greenland and then to the North Americas? Why is there an entire land mass just under the surface of water of Florida that stretches out from Florida for like 200 miles? Why is that a thing? Why is there a massive land bridge that goes from China all the way down to Australia and then way out into the Pacific Ocean? Like there's just this line of islands that come right off of, Australia, just straight out into the Pacific Ocean. It looks like a road and then it just like dead stops. Why are these things there just under the surface of the water? Was that before the flood, where the waters came up and then they came back down to that point? Or did the waters come back down to a point lower than that, and then come back up for some reason? I don't know. There's stuff underneath the water that we don't know. So every time I see something like that where they're talking about, islands, I always kind of have to, I think, maybe they're not just talking about what's out in the Mediterranean Sea. Maybe they're not just talking about what's in Northern Europe. Maybe they're not talking about just what's off the coast of, Eastern Africa, or Western Africa. I know there's some islands out there too. Maybe they're not just talking about that. Maybe they're talking about something else. We You got to kind of remember that, our maps aren't right. They're they're definitely skewed. Um, and definitely older maps. When you look at older maps of like California, where you see that, at one point in time, people were drawing maps where almost the entirety of California was a lake. And see, that makes you kind of ponder too. It's like, okay, so was the water higher than it was now, and then it came down to this point, and then, or did California just decide, hey, we're just gonna let it drain out, and we're gonna have the valley, because that's what it is. That's what the Valley of California is. It's just where the water used to be. So what happened there? Or the maps of the maps that people have of the supposed North Pole, where they have this drawn area of these this island that has these four rivers running out the top of it. Are those real or are those not real? The maps that people have from, what was that? Like early centuries. I don't remember exactly what year it was, but the maps that they have of lower South America that, line up with, it's like one of the extensions of Antarctica, and they are perfect maps of what we have now. Just there was like a land bridge that was drawn there or something. I don't remember exactly what it was, and but they line up perfectly with what we have now, that we can see now in our maps. So why is that a thing? What are these maps? And you can get into the whole the one map that they supposedly found from 1400s China or whatever, where there's supposedly land masses that are outside of the ones that we have. I don't know. I don't know. There's a lot that we know. There's a lot that we don't know, and it just seems like the more you look into it and try to figure it out, the more it just seems like there's some kind of cover up going on. Something's being hidden from us on purpose for some reason. And it's really hard to discern what this stuff is. I mean, it's really hard to figure out first why, and then what the truth is. Well, we don't even have a fathom of what the truth is anymore. It's everything just seems like it's a lie at this point. And of course, you get called out whenever you even remotely say that anything is a lie, because everybody says, "Oh, you don't understand it. You don't know it. Why would you try to deny what science is trying to tell you?" It's like, well, because there's a question now, man. There's a question now. Why would you even think that half everything we're told is the truth? I mean, everything they've told us kind of makes sense from a standpoint of being a nothing person in the middle of nowhere flying on a speck of dust out in the middle of nothing. I mean, that's from that point, yeah, sure. Everything is so far away that you can't tell what it is, and we shouldn't worry about the past. We should worry about the future and focus on ourselves, and yet all that crap. And yeah, sure. Whenever you're nothing and you're nobody and you come from nothing, it's all you need to worry about. Don't worry about the past. Don't worry about what happened then. Don't worry about all this stuff. Just live your life. Have fun. You only live once. So but when you get down into what's out there, what's really out there, and you really critically think about this stuff for a second, there's there is a very definite disconnect of reality between what we see in the world, what they say is true, and what they tell us is just out of place. They call them oop arts. I think that's what they call them. Is out of place architecture, out of place art, out of place items of the world that they can't figure out why it's there, so they just say that it's oh, it's just something that's there. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's okay. We know what we're talking about. Just trust the science, man. We're cool. It's just out of place. It's fine. Yeah, it's okay. Don't worry about the fact that we found a gearbox that's supposedly prehistoric. Don't worry about the fact that we found what was it? I think one of them was a teacup or something. Don't worry about the fact that we found a teacup embedded inside of a coal mine, inside of coal, inside of a rock. Don't worry about the fact that we've found all these things that are bedded down in stuff that supposedly takes millions and millions of years to make. Don't worry about that. It's just it's a thing. It's probably fake anyways. People that found it are probably lying to you. They just want you to don't worry about the cave of Egyptian artifacts that we supposedly found in the Grand Canyon. That there could be more caves, but we won't let anybody go check it out for themselves because we're going to post armed guards at the mouths of these caves. Don't worry about Antarctica. You don't have to go to Antarctica. We'll take you to Antarctica. We'll take you to one of the islands of Antarctica, and you can sit there and have fun. Don't worry about the fact that we've only supposedly let one person walk to the South Pole, and he didn't even get close to the South Pole. He went about 2 or 3 miles into Antarctica, and then he turned around and came back. Don't worry about it though. He went to the South Pole. Just trust the science. It's such a nightmare. It's just an absolute nightmare to listen to these people and then to listen to see people listen to it and then just regurgitate it. Don't worry about it, man. They got this all figured out. It's okay. I saw it on TV. It's real. It's real. I saw it on TV. Don't worry about it. It is an absolute nightmare just to just to listen to these people talk. And it's just like, no, 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 no. You don't understand. This is a thing. Why are they having these crazy ass rituals to open up a tunnel? Why is this a thing? No, it's nothing, man. It's okay. It's just it's all play stuff. It's cool. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Here, watch some more sports. Have fun. I'm gonna blow my nose. Hold on a second. I'm losing my mind. I could go on and on and on about the things that I have heard compared to the things that I've been told, and nobody likes to talk about it. It always gets swept under the rug, or it's just something that you know somebody can explain away by just it's either a fake or it's something that can be swept under the rug and not worried about, or I'm looking too far into it. How could you be looking too far into it when there's pyramids off the coast of Japan? That's not me looking too far into it. Somebody on the History Channel said it, and they said they don't know what it is, but you don't want to talk about it. There's a gigantic pyramid in Illinois. That the base of this pyramid is the same size as the Great Pyramid in Egypt. You don't want to talk about that though, because it's not the size, it's not the shape of a full pyramid, but it's the base of a pyramid, and it's there, and they call it the pyramids of Illinois. But you don't want to talk about that. How did that get there? Oh, it's just a thing. Don't worry about it. There are Nordic runes and Nordic carvings in the Northeast Americas. You don't want to talk about that. There are Hebrew writings not only found on artifacts in the ground, but there are entire mounds of like the Indian mounds. There are entire mounds of these Hebrew letters that they found that you've just bulldozed over half of it, so it doesn't really look like a full. It doesn't look like a full letter. How are those a thing? When are we going to start discussing this stuff? Don't worry about it, man. Go watch your American Idol. It's fine. Go watch your Dancing with the Stars. You're going to have more fun watching Dancing with the Stars, anyways. Go for it. Have fun. Have fun. Drink your alcohol. Take some drugs. It'll be cool. Just get your shots. So that's the only way you're going to get to have any fun anymore. Just get your shots, and just don't be sure that you fight to keep your Christmas, because that's what you got to do. Fight to keep your Christmas. Be sure to say Merry Christmas to everybody you have to, because it actually absolutely matters that you either say Happy Holidays or Merry Christmas. It absolutely matters. Make sure you tell your kids that Santa Claus is real. It's okay. It's not a lie. It's not a lie. We can just fib to the kids. It's all right. I'm getting a little heated. I'm sorry. It's just getting to me. This whole thing is just getting to me. It's such a nightmare. It's such an absolute nightmare. Again, and it's not even. It's not even stuff that like absolutely. It's not like it's stuff that you have to have years upon years upon years of even looking into this stuff to be able to understand. It's if you just take 2 seconds to critically think about what you're looking at, you're gonna see something's going on. But people won't even go past that point. It's that cognitive dissonance. and I don't even know if that cognitive dissonance is, sorry guys, I don't even know if that cognitive dissonance is it's a thing that was there before this, or if it's something that was programmed into us. Because we've had thousands, well, I don't want to say thousands of years, even though we might have. It's definitely 100 years. It's definitely been 100 years plus of being programmed, especially over the last 100 years. Just the programming, just the constant programming. The television is the worst invention ever made. Some people may absolutely disagree with that, but you know, I, television was made as a mind control device, and it has worked perfectly up till this point. Television, movies, you hear the stories of, or you hear the one part of that movie. I can't remember what movie it was, where he says, you act like the TV, you talk like the TV, you think like the TV. We tell you what to think, we tell you what to do, we tell you how to act. It's like, yes, you're right. I don't remember who it was. Oh yeah, my wife, my wife, my lovely wife. I even told her. I said, you don't even know how you would be if you didn't have a TV. You act just like TV. She said, what? I said, you act like the TV. I act like the TV. Just about everything I do, and I've gotten better about it, and I try not to, but I'm still there. I was one of those people. I said, everything I do, everything you do, we act like something we saw on television. No, I'm not. I'm my own person. You can't tell me that. I said, yeah, yes, you do. You don't know who you really are. You don't know the kind of person you could have been, because everything you know, everything you've been born into and have grown up into, has been something that somebody else told you how to do. So you don't know the kind of person you would be if you did not have this indoctrination device telling you how to act. Even the people that have claimed that they've stepped away from it, that they don't watch TV anymore, you still have that in your head. Now, hopefully, those people can teach the generation that's coming after them, their children, who they won't let watch TV. Hopefully, they won't let watch TV. That they can tell them and teach them, you can be your own person. The problem is that their parents are still acting like the television taught them how to act. So hopefully those can be unlearned. The problem is, for every one family that's like that, where they're raising up a generation not to watch TV, you have, for every one of those, you have 10 families that are letting 5-year-olds run around with cell phones. So yeah, I can't, think about that though. Think about how much you act like the TV. Not just big, grand sweeping ways of acting. Think about the little things. Think about the way you talk. Think about the things that you say. Think about the way that you comprehend things. Think about how you talk to people. Think about all these little things. And then place them together with a TV show or a character or something. Place them together and you'll see it. You'll see it. I did it and I was like, that's true. I do that. That's the way it is. Is we are programmed by the television to live, act, and understand a certain way. And if that television was used to harm us, if that indoctrination was used to harm us, then what does that say about the television? maybe we shouldn't be watching it. I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that. I kind of had a little brain fart going there. I'm I'm hearing my sump pump running, and of course, I've already talked about the water problem in the yard. Uh, I had my my wife's stepdad came over, and he was telling me, your sump pump pipe out there is flooded over because it's coming out into the water, and I was like, yeah, I know, it's there, it's a thing. He said, I mean, does it always run like that? I was like, yeah, it's always running like that. I think we might have like like some kind of a spring or something underneath the house that pops up in the winter, because I don't know. Unless we need to get somebody out here to check it, because we're just constantly running water, and not only that, but we have this whole neighborhood just sucks. Everybody's yard floods. It's not just ours, but ours seems to be the worst because we are constantly pushing water out from underneath the house, and I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to do with it at this point. I really don't. All I can do is just keep diverting the water and hope that it gets warm so I can go out there and dig out my ditch. And, maybe get the water running out. The only problem is if I dig out my ditch and if the neighbors don't dig out their ditch, the water's just going to stay in the yard. So this isn't just a me problem. This is a neighborhood problem. This is one of those things where I'm going to have to go door to door and be like, look, in order for this water to run where it needs to go, these drainage ditches need to be opened up. So if I dig out my ditch, you got to dig out your ditch. And then they got to dig out their ditch so that all the water can flow where it needs to go. But I don't foresee that happening anytime soon. I don't. That's especially not the woman next door. The house next door is a rental. Trying to get a rental company to agree to dig up their front yard is going to be a nightmare. So I'm already kind of in the hole. It's a good house. It's a good house. It's a great house. It's just we have so many problems. I'm not I'm not wanting to say it's a money pit yet. It's not really a money pit. It's just we have so much stuff we got to fix. Just stuff that we didn't know until we moved in. You know, if you ever buy a house, man, you really need to do your homework on the house before we're learning that. Really, really do your homework on the house. But we'll get it fixed, I hope. Where was I? Verse 11. I was on verse 10, verse 11. Yea, all kings shall fall down before him, all nations shall serve him. For he shall deliver the needy when he crieth, the poor also, and him that hath no helper. He shall spare the poor and needy. He shall save the souls of the needy. He shall redeem their soul from deceits and violence, and precious shall their blood be in his sight. And he shall live, and to him shall be given of the gold of Sheba. Prayer also shall be made for him continually, and daily shall he be praised. There shall be an handful of corn in the earth upon the top of the mountains. The fruit thereof shall shake like Lebanon. I wonder what that means. I wonder if there's a place in the Bible where it says that Lebanon shook like an earthquake or something. And they have the city, because you know Lebanon was where the big trees are, and you want to, when they talk about the tall trees of Lebanon, they're talking about the big, huge monster trees of Lebanon. But it shook like Lebanon. Hmm. And they of the city shall flourish like grass of the earth. His name shall endure forever. His name shall be continued as long as the sun, and men shall be blessed of him, blessed in him. All nations shall call him blessed. And blessed be the Lord God, the God of Israel, who only doeth wondrous things. And blessed be his glorious name forever. And let the whole earth be filled with glory. Amen and amen. Okay. Where'd my little... I lost my little post-it. Where did my little post-it go? Uh-oh. I have a little post-it that I used. There it is. A little post-it that I used to keep my spot. There we go. So yeah, I don't know what else to say really. For anyone that's in America, in the United States, I have a feeling that tomorrow is Tuesday. Which interestingly enough, tomorrow they said I read it. They said on Tuesday morning, Joe Biden is planning on addressing the crisis in America. You know, something about giving harder restrictions to because of the moronic variant. So be prepared for that. What they don't tell you about Tuesday is that Tuesday numerically is a 12-21-21. But what does that mean? Well, it's a reversal and then a duplicate. It's a 12-21-21. It's a 3-3-3. This is like for their own numerology. This is like their perfect little, they love this crap. Interestingly enough, the whole 1221 was also that Mayan New Year nonsense or Mayan apocalypse stuff that came out back in 2012? Was that what it was? I don't remember exactly what it was. Hold on a second. Oh wait, what the world? So they do these things numerically for a reason, but you don't need to tell me, or you don't need me to tell you that. I've only been pushing gematria for a while now. I don't want to be the one that knows gematria up one side and down the other, but I can definitely I can see the numerology, how it works. I understand it's a real thing. Did I tell you guys that there was somebody on Twitter that actually he's able to predict sports bets, games. He's able to predict. So far, I've seen he's 100%. But he's able to say, I bet you somebody will go, I don't remember the one that I saw was like, this team will go like 15-1 because, it's such and such's, birthday on this time and they're turning this age. I don't remember exactly what it was. And sure enough, they, it hit. I was like, damn, man. So, it's one of those things that's just, what is all this? I got like 10 emails. I took Friday off. I don't know if anybody realized that, but I took Friday off, and now it's like email city. But yeah, if you know the days, or if you understand how they if you understand how they use the numbers against you, then you can see it coming. So Tuesday, it's 12/21/21, and I am not expecting anything good. I am expecting him to give us even more bullshit that the sheep will just eat up gladly. And I just like, well, you guys are gonna have to you're gonna have to fight it, or you don't. I mean, you're just gonna. It is what it is. Yeah. Plus all of the compliance. We're having all of the compliance online training things that are coming around too. I took one of them last week. It took like 2.5 hours. Oh, it's so awesome to have a job that you have to worry about compliance. So awesome. And anyways, I have to stop talking because I have to start logging in. Thank you guys for coming around and listening. Uh, I just don't have anything else to say, really. I can't really think of much else other than, Tuesday should be interesting. The worst part about it is um, the world is watching America, the United States, to see what we do. At least as far as I understand, I've heard it from a couple different countries, Australia and you know one of the Russian countries. I can't remember which one it was, but they're like, we're watching the United States to see what the people do. If the people of the United States will step up, then the rest of the world will step up with them. But of course, nobody in America stepping up. You're too busy having all of your holiday nonsense. You're just gonna keep ignoring it like it's nothing. Just like whatever. Well, you know what, man. I don't want to say you deserve what you're going to get, but man, if you don't get off your ass and do something about it, you're going to get it. It's going to hit you. And the United States government is not there to tell you what to do. It was never put in place to tell you what to do. That was something they told you. The United States government is not there to tell you what to do. It's there to protect your freedoms. That's what the government was put in place for. Somewhere along the line, you let the enemy move in, and you let the enemy start telling you what the government is there for. The government is not there to tell you what to do. It's not there to dictate rules to you. It's there to protect your freedoms. It was always there to protect your freedoms, never anything else. But you guys got some Stockholm syndrome going, and now you love it. Now you want the government to be able to do everything for you you can ever do possible, because you don't want to take any responsibility for yourself. That's the short and sweet of it, because you're just too childish now, too dependent now, too I don't want to say pathetic, but it's a word at this point, to be able to live your life that you're just going to let them live it for you. And that goes for everyone else in the world that's just letting these people just walk right over you. And I don't want to hear anybody give me this stuff about how we're supposed to be nice and peaceful about it, and that we will be taken care of in the end. God has us. Yes, God has us. You're absolutely right. But God never said that we're just supposed to lay down and take it. He doesn't say that we're supposed to, fight everyone and, destroy everything and take over where others have failed. He says you are to pray for what we're supposed to do. And if we are to fight, we are to pray for the ability to fight, and we are to fight our way out of it. There is nothing. Turn the other cheek does not mean if they put you in handcuffs that you go ahead and you take the muzzle too. It doesn't say that. It never said that. Just, it amazes me. People are going to do what people are going to do, and there's nothing we can do about it, I guess. I don't know. If you're not going to listen, then you're not going to listen. At this point, it is what it is. There are too many people that they're enjoying this at this point. They're enjoying it at this point. There's people out there that are singing songs, singing and dancing about wearing masks and being 6 feet apart. not just in a way of teaching other people how to do it anymore. No, we're past that point. No, they're not singing these songs to teach people how to do it anymore. They're singing these songs because they like it. They like it and they want more. And oh boy, we just can't get enough of that lockdown stuff. Oh goodness, are you guys kidding me? Nope, they want more. They want more, and they want even harder restrictions, and they want everyone that doesn't go along with them. They want them to suffer in the worst ways possible, and that's sick. That's some sick, demented nonsense. How in the world can you be a human being and say we want somebody to not only lose their job, we want them to lose their house, we want them to lose their family, we want them to lose the ability to go buy food because they won't go along with what we want them to do. It's not even that. It's how can somebody say that, they want everybody to lose all that stuff because somebody has a question about what's going on? I mean, it's not, over in Australia, the whoever it was saying, it's not even if you don't have your injections. It's if you oppose the lockdown rules. We are considering you to be what? We are considering you to be unvaccinated. That means that you can get all the shots you ever wanted. But if you even remotely speak out against somebody else having their freedoms taken away because they don't want to do it, then you automatically join them. That's some terrorist shit right there. That's some that's some that's some straight ass terrorist nonsense. That's exactly what that is. If you believe the story, that is some Nazi Germany kind of crap. Are you gonna wake up to this or what? Are you going? I mean, this is going past the point of we should we should ask God if He'll save it. This is getting to the point to where it's like maybe we ought to think about fighting this. Maybe we ought to think about trying to stop this because it's getting a little out of control. You don't want to do it? Fine, don't do it. I don't. I can't help somebody that doesn't want to be helped. But holy smokes, that's some big stuff. And that's not just happening in one place. That's happening in a lot of places. And it keeps going and it keeps going. And it seems like every time it comes around, everybody just wants to go along with it. Oh, it's okay. You cannot comply your way out of tyranny. I don't know how many times I got to say that. You cannot comply your way out of this. There is no. There is no. There is nothing in your future if you think that you can. You can serve a tyrant enough to give them something to you. It just doesn't happen. Because once they know that they can get you to do one thing, then they can do 20 other things to you. And they know that you just won't fight back. They can just keep doing it to you. They can keep doing it to you over and over and over again. And as long as they know that you're going to keep going along with it, why should they give you anything back? Why should they give anything back to you if they know that you're just going to comply again, over and over and over? It goes back to what I said though about being indoctrinated from birth. Is that you act like the TV, you think like the TV, you've done everything in your life like the TV, and the TV has done nothing but hurt you. But you still stand up for the TV. You still stand up for what the TV has done to you, and you still think that nothing bad can come of it. And that's a lie. That's just another lie. There's nothing good that's going to come out of you listening to the TV, to you listening to these people, any of it. There's nothing good that's going to come out of this. It's just going to lead to just more destruction and more death and more pain. And you know, every just about every truther called this out a year ago, 2 years ago. They said that you're going to get lied to hardcore for the first year. And then the second year, whenever they start putting those injections into you and everybody starts dying for real, that's whenever they're going to tell you that that's the virus. That's what's happening. Yet everybody's going to be injected. And you're not going to see it. Why don't you see this? It's right there in front of your face. They lied to you for a year. The entirety of 2020, they lied to you. People don't seem to understand that concept. They even told you they're lying to you straight to your face. We're going to count every case as somebody that died with it, regardless of underlying conditions. Regardless. Not only that, but the death rate doesn't. The death rate never went up. That actually the what was it? The death rate per 1,000 people actually decreased. People just weren't dying like they were, The actual numbers of people that died up to November of 2020 was less than the people that died in 2019. There were more people that died in 2018. What happened in 2018? I mean, come on. What's going on here? You know? Or the what was the other one that I read? I can't think of it right off the top of my head. Um, but it's that it was enough that they got you to believe the lie, and they hammered it into your head over and over and over. They kept that ticker on the bottom of the screen running every single day. Oh, you got to be afraid. Oh, you got to be afraid. Oh, you got to be afraid. And then, sure enough, right at the end of the year, right at the end of 2020, right in December, they got those shots ready. They got those injections ready. They were like, "Look, we finally got it. Let's do it." So they started injecting you, and then within a month, it was only boosters. There are people that took 4 shots last year. 4 shots in 1 year, and they're talking about 2 more. I already said, man, I said it on Facebook that you there's 6 chambers in that gun, and one of those chambers is loaded, and you've already taken 4, and they're trying to convince you to take another one. Your odds are decreasing. Yeah, it's going to happen sooner or later. You're going to take one that's going to get you. Nobody wants to believe that VAERS is a thing. Nobody wants to believe that people are getting hurt. Nobody wants to believe any of this stuff. And it's like, are you really going to take that chance over and over and over? You're just going to let that just go. And it's like, you really just want to let that happen. You can just keep rolling it. Keep rolling it. You're going to find out what's coming. We've been warned for years. They've had these weird ass coffin liners. They want to call them whatever they want to call them, but they're coffin liners that have been stacked up outside of these cities for years now. That the CDC put there. The people that are telling you that there's some kind of a weird ass pandemic going on that you need to go get your injections are the same people that put those coffin liners outside of all those cities. Just saying. I'm going to take this stupid training. I don't want to, but I need to. I know I kind of switched gears there, but I'm going to take this thing. Because it's like 6:02 now. I should be working. Um, okay. Alright. I'm going to stop talking. Because sooner or later I'm going to say something that's going to get this video pulled. You know how it is. I mean, it's just... What's my password? I don't even know what my password is. No, that was my password. That's what I thought. Okay. Anyways, I got 2 of them. Watch them be like an hour long. I hate these stupid compliance things. And they're just boring. They're just boring as hell. It's just, I think these are just tests to see if we can survive the boredom. I don't know. Anyways, guys, I'm going to get off here so I can take an online course. Oh, I love it. So great. Do they have a time of completion, or they do not? Great. It's due by the end of the year. It's due by the 31st. Today's the 20th, so I should probably do this. So, I will. Oh, it looks like it's short. Okay. I will talk to you guys later. I love y'all. God bless. Take care, man. It's just, I know it's hard to talk to people, especially people you know that just don't want to listen. And it's hard to give up on those people that just you can't get through to. It's getting to that point to where we're going to have to start making those hard decisions of who gets to hear it and who doesn't. And if you can't get if you can't get one person to hear it, move on to the next. Don't don't give up. Don't give up trying to turn somebody else. It's tough. I know. I get it. I understand it. I've got family that I've got family that have been hurt by this, and I have family that just refuses to listen to me. And I just don't see any good way out. I really don't. So trust in the Father. Pray for discernment. Pray for a full armor of God. Pray for if you should be fighting to stop this, or if you should be trying to save who you can. Because that's the point that we're at. It's either one or the other. So that's all I got. I gotta stop talking. I shall see you guys later. Uh, I'm gonna go do some training. Woohoo! All right, I shall talk to you guys later. Just be prepared and just don't give up, man. Don't give up. Don't give up.